Hello everyone, welcome back to Electrified Outdoors. Today we're going to be taking a look at the energy settings on our main display here in our Rivian R1S or R1T. Before we get started, remember to hit that thumbs up. It really helps us out and it helps others find the content that they're looking for on YouTube. So if you don't see the lightning bolt icon down here at the bottom, we're going to swipe up and you'll see something here that says energy. We're going to tap that. This is where we're going to manage all the energy in our Rivian R1S or R1T. You're going to see over here the predicted range. And if we hit the info graphic here, this is going to tell us the elements that impact our range. Below that, it's going to tell us what our range is based on. So it's predicting 251 miles. That's for all purpose. If we put it in conserve, we would get 277. On a full charge, 347. And in sport, we would drop down to 248 and 311 on a full charge. Now, this is also based on our history, our driving history. So if we don't like what we're seeing here, we can also reset the history. Below that, again, we have our session summary. And this is going to tell us our most recent charging session. Here we can see it was 6 hours, 33 minutes. We added 57 kilowatt hours to the battery pack. 0.4 kilowatt hours was used to maintain the cabin and battery temperatures, and 1.1 kilowatt hours were used for accessories. We can open and close our charge port. And over here on the right, we can set a charge limit. Now, if we hit this infographic, this tells you what charging limits Rivian recommends. For daily driving, they recommend 70%. The general rule there that I tell everyone is you want to make it so you're not running the truck below 20% on a regular basis. So if you can charge to 70% and not run it below 20% on a regular basis, that's where you should set it. Next, we have 85%. This is an extended distance, extended range situation. Again, if you can't maintain above 20% with a 70% selection, bump it up to 85%. That's still fairly safe and will keep you from running it below 20%. 100% is obviously not recommended unless you absolutely have to. I typically select that for road trips. It's okay once in a while to charge it to 100%. We can set a custom charge limit down here. So we have our presets, 70, 85, 100, and then we can set a custom charge limit from 100% all the way down to 50%. And why 50%, you ask? Well, if you're storing the vehicle and it's going to be sitting for several months, it's actually better to have it set at 50% and leave the battery sitting there half charged. That's the ideal situation there. But I typically have it at 80%. So let's see if I can get it back to 80. I typically leave mine at 80%. Next, we have the outlets. So we can turn the outlets on or off. When we turn the outlets on, by default, it's only going to leave them on for 3 hours. And we can adjust that timer and all the way up to 3 days. And the reason why they don't let you leave it on indefinitely is because it does run a little inverter under the passenger seat, and that can draw your battery down fairly quickly. And next we have our charging schedule, and Rivian is really good with this. You can set this on a lot of different chargers, but Rivian also allows you to set it in the vehicle. We can have it off. Then we have a daily charging schedule, weekdays only. This will set it for the current location. And we can say when we want the schedule to start and when we want it to stop. This is useful if you have a time of use plan for your electricity provider. Most of those want you to charge overnight from say 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., this is where you would set that. We're going to leave that off for now. And then lastly, we have our charging amperage. And this tells you, you pretty much leave it at the default, but you should use this when you're using a shared or unfamiliar circuit. You can reduce the amount of amperage you're drawing to prevent any possible issues or outages. The maximum charge rate for the Rivian R1T and R1S is 48 amps. To adjust it down, I can tap this minus, and I can go all the way down to 8 amps, and obviously all the way back up to 48. So that's the energy screen in the Rivian R1T and R1S. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. Remember to like, subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified anytime we add new content. And thank you guys so much for watching.